It's dashboard day. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Check this thing out. Getting the dash in. Plenty of room for everything, for every boy and girl. It didn't come, my dash didn't have a hole for the automatic light sensor, so I'll probably need to drill one. But I'm amazed it fit over all the other electronics and things. Couple things I don't have buttoned up, like got a hanging ECU, rear seat entertainment ECU here, and one on the other side. Radio's just sitting here from the GX. We'll have to see how that lands. I did, if you can see in here, I changed the routing on this big cable. I had it above, up in this area, which I thought would work fine, but I noticed down here, these guys were held upwards a little more than they should be, and I didn't think the center console thing would go down, so I moved this Y down under the metal bracket inside there, and it's fitting. This is a gigantic, massive wire harness in comparison to what the FJ has. Woo, look at that new light. Tail light got a new assembly. And it's LEDs inside for reverse. Coming over here. So, I got my Lexus dash here, which works electronically. It works. The speedo still doesn't work, but the RPMs work. We'll have to see, you know, if I can integrate that into the FJ bezel or how I can work that out. But fuse box is mounted up in here. I put the other ECUs that are over here, the ABS and the air suspension ECUs up inside there. I don't need the air suspension, but I didn't want to have loose wires making it not function. So, will I be able to get the controls from the FJ to fit and to be useful, seeing as how, see all those wires? It's all digital controls for the Lexus. So I might end up just ditching their whole assembly and everything, and finding the servos and trying to hook them up through into what the FJ has already. I don't know. That's going to be a big challenge. Or making my own custom controls there with using the same knobs but on the back, something different. Anyway, so I'm really glad to have this in and start feeling like more like a real car, and a little more safe actually. I can start getting in these panels and the oh crap handles there. This guy still needs some adaptation from here to the stock switch. I gotta mount up this seat memory guy in here. Shouldn't be too bad. Oh, back seat's kind of, can't open it right now. Got the handle off and trying to hook up the seat belt airbag stuff. The seat belt, what do you call it? Wind up controls. Got a little bomb in there. But this guy, see, on the Lexus, this would be a solid panel. It wouldn't move with the door. So that's why these are this length. So they would just be like, thank you, plug in right over there. Thank you, plug in right here. But since when I open this whole thing swings out, I've got to extend these wires and take them all the way up through the door rubber flexi spout and into here, then come down all the way. But this, luckily there already is a harness left in the door, and I can just attach up there where it comes through, so it shouldn't be too bad. Oh, one more wiring thing. Well, a few more. I had to to get reverse lights on the Lexus. They were coming from all the way down here because they usually come up right into two reverse lights that are right around the license plate on the tailgate. But here we have them in the lights, so I had to use some wire to extend up. And then the rest I just adapted so I could use the FJ connectors that plug right into the tail lights. Button those up. There's still quite a mess in here. Looks like I've got some more airbags to fake because there are no airbags back here. And over here, same. Got some other, well, mostly tied up. Here, this guy. I was trying to figure out what this is on the Lexus, where it goes to. I know it has power all the time, so it has 12 volts, but I'm not entirely sure what that connector's for. If anyone knows, please let me know. Then this connector is the one that would go inside the door and plug in for various features, but I have cut it out over here and use those to adapt for various things like overhead blinker on the door. What is this guy? Look for a second. Black and red. You just have to follow the wires to figure all this stuff out. We have door controls to lock and unlock. There is a little handle in here, which is kind of cool. Get you sideways and looking in there. That guy. So the motor actuator just lifts that up and down to lock and unlock. It also moves it based on the signal it gets from here. This is 2 positions, lock and unlock. It will connect one of these 12 volt, send it back into the ECU, have it sitting over here. And that'll send a signal back out over to lock and unlock the door. Well, I'm not running that ECU, so the Lexus didn't have it, and there's no way it would be compatible. So I'm doing it all hardwired, which is how the Lexus had it set up, and it actually makes it kind of easy. So I have the window glass hooked up to a key function up there on the driver door and the unlock, but I can't get both lock and unlock on this. I can only do one or the other for now until I get kind of a custom relay set up, because both wires are I can't just flip the polarity on these wires. So anyways, that's a challenge. But if I could make, or someone could make, a little extension for this handle that would come out, you know, then it would make it a lot easier to lock and unlock, well, from the outside. So, yawning here. This is the electrical status of the FJ. I could not get the dome lights for the Lexus harness to work at all. I am stumped. So you have these little connectors that go to the courtesy switch. It's a 1-pin connector, and then it goes and hooks into this guy. And then this guy is touching the body, so it's grounded. So when he's open, he allows the ground. So he allows current to go through the ground, and that turns on the lights. And then when you close the door and this pushes in, it breaks the ground, so no more current can pass, and the door lights don't go on. Well, I do have one properly connected up over there, and it's still, the lights still don't come on and off when I open and close the door. It's something connected with the radio. I had it all plugged in, it still wouldn't work. The radio doesn't show any display. The HVAC controls, they light up with the headlights, but they don't actually do anything or come on at all. And I was reading that this was somehow the radio, you know, is connected to here, and it works all as one unit, and you can't have one without the other. But I know there's an aftermarket kit for radio, so I don't know if that's entirely true. Now, along with the other, well, let's say one thing that does work, okay? Haha! So the little cigarette lighter here, when I have this plugged in over there, I'm going to turn to ACC. It does work, and the light lights up for the USB charger. So I know ACC is working, but we're not getting voltage from this combination box, which they call like the body ECU 1 or combination meter box thing. That should send 12 volts to all my dome lights when you open the door, and I cannot get it to do that, and I'm so stumped. No blown fuses. Checked the relay, swapped it with another, it worked fine. So very confused as to why that doesn't work, but I'll get it figured out. You know I will. So one last thing. This looks like a huge mess in here. Well, it is, and it isn't at the same time. I only actually needed 4 of the wires from the Lexus harness, so I cut them there, and I'm actually soldering them on to wires that come from the FJ underbody harness that goes towards the back. Now that has 2 functions. It has the rear differential lock, and it has the rear ABS left and right. So that's what the 4 wires are for, rear ABS left and right. I haven't tried to mess with the diff lock and set that up yet, nor do I have the ADD actuator in the front for 4-wheel drive set up. So I'll need to make a manual kind of switch for that. But all that's to say, the rest of these wires, they're on the Lexus harness, tons. They go to air suspension parts and the compressor that is back there for the air suspension, which I'm not hooking up, so I won't need those wires. We'll just leave them there, put some electrical tape around them. I do have one connector. I cannot for the life of me figure out what it's for. It's this gray one right here. Now, I'll have to check on some videos where they, from what I can tell, this might be for the navigation ECU if you have the stereo with nav, like the touchscreen, and it plugs in here and it goes over, and there's supposed to be an ECU down in here somewhere for the navigation, just kind of piggybacked on the side of here or wherever. So I need to make sure that's true, because I'm thinking this, like any unplugged connector that I have in here could be the reason why dome light circuitry isn't working properly. So, but I still maintain that it's something to do with that box in there, the fuse box in there, not giving 12 volt potential to any of the wires that go up the channel and into the roof and down and around and everywhere else. So I'm going to chase it from that point of view. Maybe I'll try another relay. Maybe the relay I tried was broken. I'm going to have to figure out how to test one without. One more thing to mention here. Oh no. Uh-oh. It's my registration. Hope I didn't drop my... Oh, that's my insurance. What about my registration? I just pulled it down because it was in the... Oh no, I hope it didn't fall down in the vent. I'll have to take this dash off again. Okay, back to what I was saying. The blower fan, the fan and blower connectors, not only do they, this one not reach, but they don't plug in to what the FJ had. Just a different connector, same kind of wires, same number of wires and functions. But so I might try to drop the Lexus blower assembly out of here, and I mean the FJ one out, and put the Lexus one in, and then that will have the right connections. Or I might have to adapt these guys to fit in there with the connectors from the FJ harness. So I'm off to find my registration now. I hope I did not blow away in the wind, and I hope it didn't drop down the vent before I put the dash on. And it'd be really hard to get way back in there. So that's what we got. Son of a gun. He is in there. See back there? There's a paper. Get it zoomed in here. There's a paper in there. And that's my registration. Imagine the cop says, "Oh, license and registration." I'm like, hold on, just let me take apart my dash or smash a hole through the top first. I gotta grab that out. Good thing I noticed that. Phew.